Okay, so we are here today with Taylor Scarpello. We had her sister on a couple weeks ago, and so now we have Taylor on, and both of them have been on together, and now this is the first time I get to see them separately. And I said a bunch of things to Taylor last time you were here. And Taylor, how did I do?
I think it actually manifested for Abby rather than me. So I think I because a lot of times people think we're twins,
Yes.
and I think that was something that you also highlighted as well. And what had happened was I think the energy just all like intertwined.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely said that could be a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting some reverb.
Oh no. I could put headphones in. That
Is it
works.
you or is it me? I don't know. So while she's doing that, that is actually a thing. It's a thing that happens. Oh, that's better, actually.
How's that?
So much better. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you actually sound a little clearer too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually perfect. Okay. So, the energies do get like squished in there, right? They get all swooped up and like I said that that's a possibility. There was one time I was giving a reading to somebody and I said that I said one of them was type A and one of them was type B, and it was the he that was the type A, and I said she was a type A, and they like thought that I didn't know anything that I was talking about, and then they learned about what was going on, and they're like, oh, she just read the energy and flipped the people that it belonged to because we're in each other's energy field.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So what did I tell you? Well, actually, don't tell me what I told you. How do we want to do this? How do you want to do this? Do you have like a big burning question?
I do. So I turned 28 last November.
Okay.
So this year is my Saturn return, and literally every single foundation has been just crumbling
Mhm.
within since honestly since January. And it's just been like not like it's been a punch and a kick I have been thrown, and it's been a whirlwind. So yeah, so I guess just
What's going on?
where am I going? And yeah, what is
Where's
this
my
Saturn
grounding?
return?
I'm sensing some grounding.
Exactly.
Need for some grounding. But you're definitely like when I see you when you were like I saw a washing machine like in the washing cycle and then the spin cycle and the washing cycle. I was like, she doesn't even know if she's in a washing machine like regular rinse or like a
Yep.
spin
I don't
cycle.
know. Yep, it's true.
I also have to say I am so sorry that your Saturn return happens in 2025.
Yeah.
Because everything I've heard from anybody, this is a doozy of a year. This year and next year is like the year that you need a seatbelt, right? It's the year that you need to be strapped
Yep.
in and like in a roller coaster, you just need that grab bar and you need to just
Yep.
hold on. Like that's this year. And March of this year is like and so your
It's
Saturn return in this year, I am so
been
sorry.
since January felt like it was a full year. February was another full year. And I'm like, we're only 13 days into March. And I'm like, you know what? It's been calm, it's been peaceful. So I just keep affirming to myself, I am at peace, I'm grounded.
I I'm actually working with a soul healer right now. She's
Mhm.
been amazing. Her name is Abby Zimmerman. She's I'm sorry. You're no, not Abby. Isabel Zimmerman. Her name is Isabel Zimmerman and she's been absolutely amazing. And one of the things that she advises us, all of her little students to do is to write down anything that makes you triggered, like as you're having
Okay.
like a strong emotion about it, she says, write it down, get it out of your head. Don't hold it in there. Write it down. I am one
Okay.
that can like think the thought, analyze the thought, and then like let the thought go. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, I've done enough practice that I don't need, like, I meditate all the time. So, like, I don't need to write it down, but people who don't meditate, you might need to write it down to get it out of your
Yeah.
head. And then repeat this. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all okay. It's all okay. And it softens everything because you're like saying, it's like that phrase, it's okay to not be okay, right?
Exactly.
It's okay that your year so far has been sort of shitty, right? It's okay. It's okay because you're here for it, right?
Mhm.
You were
Yeah.
here for it, whatever it is. And I'm really sorry that your Saturn return happens during the big ascension. Like, I don't know.
I know. I'm like, maybe it is all for divine purpose. So it's just like, okay, I'm like, God, here, take me. Let's go. Where are we going? But I do feel a big reset and huge redirection is
Mhm.
in the works.
Yeah. So I feel like Archangel Michael just showed up. And he's one of mine. Like, might be one of yours. I don't know if he's one of yours, but it's like one of mine. Oh. And I feel like he just sat down at the table.
Oh.
And he's just like, oh, let me see what he has to say. So when here's the deal. When I channel my higher self, it's really
Mhm.
sweet and kind and gentle and like really loving. It just tells me it's okay all the time and that I love you, and like
Yeah.
that's what my higher self likes to tell me all the time.
Yeah.
Archangel Michael, before I let him speak, I'm sorry for putting you on hold for a second. Um, he's not so kind. um, yeah, he's basically like, what's the point? He's
So
direct.
direct.
Yeah, he's direct. He's to the point. Like he doesn't have arrows, but it feels like an arrow, right? It's like
Mhm.
he uses his sword and he like just slices it open and is like, here it is, and then there's no fluff. So if this
Yeah.
just feels really short to you, just
Mhm.
know that it's like the angel way of talking and not your higher self way of talking, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Um. All right, Michael. What's up? What's up? What do you have to say? You're doing a good job. Hang in there. He knows it's not easy. He's showing me a path, and that unlike your sister who had like a hub and all of these spokes, there is a
Yeah.
clear fork. It is a clear fork. There are two options. And he's saying neither one is bad. Like you can't,
Is are crying?
yeah, he's like, don't overthink it, right? He's
Okay.
like, don't overthink it. You can't get it wrong. You can't get this wrong.
Yeah.
One way will lead you out, and you will have experiences. And he's like, if she wants the guy, he'll show up. And if she wants the kids, he'll show up, right? In either path, you get those things, right? Like
Yeah.
you get those things. You get the life experiences that you're asking for. So my question I'm asking him is, does one of these paths lead to more joy than the other? And he said, well, that's really just down to her. Does she want to be happy? And does she choose happiness? Because either one of these paths, oh, he just showed me a whole bunch. Hold on.
Oh.
Either one of these paths, right?
Yeah.
They 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 lead to whatever it is you're looking for, right? And then once you're on it, you've made that decision. And the problem that could be, which we all have, is
Yeah.
if I had taken that other road, would the grass be greener? Would everything be better? And my husband be less annoying? And my kids be less annoying? And I have the house I really want in that other path, right? Like, and he's just like, no. Like, you can think that, but that's human. He's like, that's a human way of looking at it.
Exactly.
He's like, do you get what you want? Sort of. Do you get what you don't want? Sort of. On both of them. He says, just be at peace and follow your heart. Your heart has never led you wrong before.
No. No.
He goes, you humans and your overanalyzing.
I, we do.
um, he's being snarky now, and he's told me my kitchen table is too cluttered. Again, you humans and your stuff.
I know.
Hold on. I asked if there was somebody else, besides him, because he's just like,
Yeah.
right? Is there somebody else we could talk to? And he's like, nope. I'm what she's got. So, and he also said, he's who you want. He's who you want. You're not somebody who likes fluff. You like direct. You like to
Yeah.
be told you're doing the right job, right?
Yep.
You like and prefer the direct message. The like, you're doing a great
Absolutely.
job and this is so fluffy and lovely. This is not what you want.
No.
You want direct, you want straight to the
Yeah.
heart. You
Exactly.
can't get it wrong. You can't get it wrong.
Exactly.
Um and follow your heart and follow your gut. And so if your heart and gut is leaning in one direction versus the other and you're afraid, "Oh, I might be making a mistake because my heart and gut is leaning this way." And you're not going to get it wrong. Your heart has always done the right thing. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
He's saying what you already know, what you've already said, but he's saying it. So I want to say it to you so that you hear it again. And that is
Yeah.
January and February and March. Well, March has been quiet, but January and February were for you. They were for your higher purpose. They were for your, and I actually see you like on a bathroom floor, I think, crying. I don't know. You were definitely on a floor crying at some point, right? Like there was definitely some floor crying happening. And he's
A
like,
lot.
that, he's like, he's like, that is for you. And there might be a part of you that wants to flip the universe off right now and be like, what the freaking hell is going on, right?
Yeah.
And like, why is this like this? And why does it have to be like this?
Yeah.
A friend of mine sent me a comedy show today, and I don't know why
Oh.
she sent it. Like, I know why she sent it, right? And so I was
Yep.
listening to it, and there was a part of me that's like, why am I listening to this right now? I
Oh.
have other things to be
Yeah.
doing when listening to this
Yep.
comedy show.
Exactly.
He was super funny, and one of the things he said is that the people who've had an easy life don't have a lot of character and don't have a lot of backbone and don't have a lot of the stamina and ability to handle challenge.
Yeah.
And so challenge creates character. And it creates the soul that's able to do the thing that's coming. So I feel like in order to walk into this full purpose, for you to be heart-centered and to be ready to do the thing that you're being asked to do, that big life calling, I feel like there's a hunger in your belly for more, and you're
Yeah.
asking for more, and you're like, I'm getting I actually don't want to get married, and I actually don't want to do kids because I want a big adventurous life. Like you're willing to go to Africa. You're willing to go to, a mercy ship. I'm actually seeing a mercy ship. Like you're willing to go and do like the big life
Work.
adventure, right? Even if it's in a foreign country, even if it's
Yeah.
like third world nation. And I think there's a part of you that's like, I'm not going to get tied down with a husband and kids because then I'm never going to get there. And so, in order to be the person who's willing to say yes to getting on a plane to go to a nowhere place, right?
Yeah.
Not that it's nowhere to the people who are there. It's definitely somewhere to the people
Exactly.
who are there. But it's a nowhere place to us because, we're used to like going to a town that
Civilization. Yeah.
it has
Has
a name.
everything.
Yeah, and it has like, amenities. If you're willing to get up and go to a nowhere place, which is definitely somewhere and big and important work to be doing, if you're willing to do that, shedding some of the comforts here are important. And so you may find yourself in the next couple of weeks to months getting rid of things and you don't know why. Or moving back in with parents just because you're like, I'm giving up the apartment.
Yeah.
Or handing things to your sister and saying, "Will you hold on to this?" Because she's gonna have the like house and the kids. All of your stuff is just gonna be in the basement. Her kids are gonna be like, "Oh, that's Aunt Taylor's stuff. She's in Guam, right? She's in Abu Dhabi. She's in
Somewhere.
somewhere, right? She's somewhere. She's somewhere that has a name. It's not nowhere, but Um, and I feel like those adventures might actually lead you to wanting to settle there. And so, do I rule out partner for you? No. Do I rule out kids for you? No. Do I rule out the possibility that people will come up to you and say, "You're my mom"? And you're like, "I don't even know you."
No.
I have no idea who you are, but now you're my child.
Yeah.
I don't rule out that possibility. And so, every person who is going to do big work has a time of seasoning. And you see it in historical stories, and you see it in the Bible,
Yeah.
of that time of feeling alone, feeling like you're not connected to people, feeling like people don't understand what's going on inside of you, feeling like you don't even know what's going on inside of you.
No, it's
Right.
true. Yeah.
And I'm hearing him say it's like birth, right? It's a whole lot of pain and a whole lot of like transformation on the inside that needs to happen in order to give
Mhm.
birth to something. But
Yeah.
in your case, you don't know you're pregnant because anyone who's just popping in right now, she's not pregnant.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not.
But right, you don't even know that you're like working on birthing this amazing life experience. And for you, it just feels like pain. And you're like, why am I here? And why am I like crying and literally sweating over whatever it is that's going on? And I don't even know. And it just feels terrible inside my body. But I really feel like spirit is working. I feel like it's doing a movement. I feel like it's making a change. I feel like it's there are things about being in the United States growing up that makes things really easy.
Yeah.
Not for everybody,
No.
right? Not for everybody. But for I'll be honest, even for people who think they have it really bad in the US, there are some things that are make things a lot easier here
Absolutely.
than they would be in other places.
Yeah.
And so everybody's experience helps. Like when we get born into a lifetime, I fully believe you choose your parents, right? You choose your
Definitely.
experience. You hop down into a baby, and then you get a body, right? Ooh, you get this body, and
Yep.
you chose these parents who are going to help you on your path to get you to where you need to be for your soul experience. And in some ways, the gifts that you've been handed from the parentals and the generations before you have been really amazing gifts. But some of those gifts need to be shed just a little bit in order for you to like find your strength to go be brave to do the things you need to do. And so right now you might not even see your path or know what this path is or know what those
Yeah.
two choices are. You might not even know what they are. You will see them when they come up. And what I actually feel like now that we're getting into the meat of it is that one path is basically life as you know it and the way life that you see it. And this is what,
Yeah.
you know, what's in front of you. The path that's in front of you that you've been on. I feel like that's the one path. And
Yeah.
I feel like you're having a Robert Frost, you're going to have a Robert Frost moment where you're going to have two paths diverge in a yellow wood, right? And you're going to choose the one less traveled by, and that'll make all the difference,
Yeah.
right? And there's also a line in that poem that I really feel like they want me to say to you is that knowing how way leads on to way, I may never come back here again. And this isn't pressure. This isn't meant to be pressure. So they don't want you to hear it as pressure. They just want you to
Yeah.
hear it as information. And that is, you know, how way leads on to way, meaning that as you move forward on your path, if you choose to continue on the road that you're on and this path comes up and you're like, you know, not today, maybe tomorrow,
Yeah.
you won't get this other path again. You'll get a different path. You'll get a different divergence, but you won't get this particular divergence. So even if you miss it, there's another one down the road. Again, Michael's saying you can't make a mistake here. You can't make a mistake. But it won't be this particular opportunity. So when you get the opportunity and you're like, is this one the one that I really, really want? Do I really, really want this? But I think this other thing is more important and I'm going to do this thing, but I'm coming back because I really, really want this. If you really, really want this, then you have to make that the priority because this is going to be the only time you have this. You'll have something else, but not this.
Not that. Exactly.
And so I really feel like going off will make all of the difference, right? You will find your voice, you'll find your purpose, you'll find who you are. You'll find what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. You will feel lit up and alive. It'll feel like easy peasy because it's doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Because up until now, I see you standing in a field with a hoe and you are just like, where the hell are the plants? Why is nothing growing? You're like, I have the blisters. I've worn out 3 pairs of shoes. My jeans are a mess. How many times can a girl shower in a day?
It's true. Like the last 5 years, I've built 3 businesses, and it's just like I'm so burnt out.
Oh.
And January, like just with my sister's health, they kind of just like really shook our whole family dynamic, that foundation, and then our business together. And then unexpectedly had to put our dog down, which was like complete shock out of nowhere. And then a couple of weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, got false news about my dad that just caused a lot of chaos in the house. And when you said you saw someone sitting like crying, I was taking a very high level intense theta healing class, which it's intuitive anatomy, so it goes really in depth on being a medical intuitive.
Yeah.
So we did so much healing, and just came out of an incredible class. He dropped this huge bomb on the entire family out of nowhere. It ended up being miscommunication, false health results. However, in the moment, it just really, the way he went about it was just not very right either.
That's because he was scared. When humans are afraid, they do things that are out of
things. Yep. So I went outside, sat on a rock, and just cried. And I called on like every like Archangel Michael, like and it's just been just a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like just needing this whole new reset, and just, it's like my nervous system is just like burned out.
Yes. Yeah. So all right, I asked him when does this change come in? Like when does this opportunity come in? Right?
Yeah.
And he goes, you humans in your time. Like, this is not helpful.
And then next Wednesday, so Abby, she's in Florida. She's been there for a couple of weeks now. And so next week, I'm actually heading down there for a little over 2 weeks to spend some time with her. And then I'm coming back to take another 2-week long theta healing class. So just really focusing on theta healing classes. And then in August, I'll be taking the instructor classes to teach and allow other practitioners to get their credentials.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like you're stirring up the sediment. And when you got a really gross lake that has a lot of, it might be clear at the top, but at the bottom it's got
it's
got
got
that
snakes. And, yeah,
got that pile of crud, that mud that gets between your toes. That's so disgusting.
exactly.
I can't handle that mud that gets between your toes. It's so disgusting. That's why I don't like lake swimming. I would much rather swim in the ocean.
Oh, I'll
like
never. I'll never swim in lakes.
I will swim in a lake if one of two things happen.
Yeah.
One of two things happen. I will swim in a lake. One, I get to go off a pier and come back on a pier.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you never have to touch the bottom.
Exactly.
Or I will swim in sneakers, but I hate swimming in sneakers because then I feel like I'm dragged down. I feel like they
Yep. Your
drag me.
bogs out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't swim very well in sneakers. So I'll swim in sneakers, but I don't like it. But now I'm just like, there's no point in swimming in a lake. I'm like, there's really no point.
No.
um, I'm just like checking in with him to see if there's anything else to say.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, they're saying you don't have to force the thing. Whatever that path is, when it shows up, you'll know that it's shown up. And you don't have to force it. There he said that there might be some things that, oh, that's interesting. As you're doing this work, some ideas are beginning to stir in you.
Yeah.
And you've had some stirring ideas. Like as they're cleaning up the sediment, there's some
Yeah.
stuff that's like,
Yeah.
oh, there was that thing that happened that I was little that I was really into, and now I've forgotten that I was really into that thing. Is
Yeah.
something I go back to, right? There's some of that stuff coming up. And he said,
Yep.
don't ignore that.
Okay.
And he said, go ahead and Google all of that
Okay.
and just explore what those things are. And they're saying, so for me, mercy ships are like the thing that I always go to. Like, I'm always like, oh, what would it be like to be on a mercy ship? Right. And I'm like, oh, I love the idea of a mercy ship. Do you know what a mercy ship is? Have you ever heard of
I
it?
don't know.
Oh, okay. So a mercy ship is a boat. It's a ship. And oh, okay, so maybe this is for you. So a mercy ship is a boat. And it's like have you heard of Doctors Without Borders? Okay.
No.
Okay. So mercy ships and Doctors Without Borders are basically the same two things. And what they are
Okay.
boats that go around from port to port to country and give free medical care to
Okay.
individuals that they bump into in third world nations.
Okay.
And you have to apply to be on one, and you have to have skills that they need, right? But I think there's also people who are like, yeah, I can clean, right? I can clean, or
Yeah.
I can whatever. I don't know if they're looking for intuitives. I don't know if they're looking for people who are theta healers on them.
Yeah.
But they go to third world nations, and then they deal with people who have cancers, or they deal with people who have
Yeah.
eye issues, and they give eye surgery, or they give surgeries on the spot basically. And they provide food, and they provide water, clean water, and they provide, like, sometimes they go and they'll dig a well if the village has like dirty water, they'll go and dig a well that like sustains and gives clean water. So they're completely humanitarian, and they're completely life-changing for the nowhere location
Yeah.
that they
Exactly.
yeah. And
So,
so go ahead.
so one thing that I've actually have been looking into and that I do want to do was because you know how like the military uses a lot of um, they use a lot of like psychics for like
Oh yeah.
spiritually bilocating
Mm-hmm.
and but one thing that I've been wanting to do is use theta healing for the military. So I wonder if like that is what you're because it's something that
Yeah.
I've been like looking into and trying to see how I can even get
Get
my
it.
foot in the door or
Yeah.
speak to someone about that and how they use different like intuitive people within their industry.
Yeah. You're right. They do. They do use the military does use.
Yep.
It's wacky to think that the military does use people for like I have somebody who can do that. Like, somebody gave him coordinates, and he
Yeah.
was able to figure out those coordinates. He drew what he was
Yep.
seeing, and then he like
Yep.
looked at what he drew, and he's like, "Oh, it's the
Yep.
Great Wall of China." And he just
Exactly.
knew
And
that's
I've
what those coordinates were.
Yep. And I've taken theta healing classes on that, and I have some more trainings coming up too.
Yeah. And so, they're showing me something that happened to me last week, which was I bumped into somebody who was limping, and then I saw the electricity in her foot into her ankle. Like I saw
Yeah,
the the pain as electricity in her ankle.
yeah,
That's really interesting. You have
interesting.
electrical things going on in your ankle.
Yeah,
um, and I've never done that. Like
yeah,
I work sometimes in a hospital, and I was like, I don't normally see people's illness. I normally
yeah.
don't. She was a nurse. She wasn't even like a sick person.
Wow, very cool.
Sick person, right?
Exactly.
um, and so we call those patients. And so I feel like Google is your friend. And I'm just going to ask, I mean, what's the harm in asking? I'm just going to ask that, like, universe, you hear Taylor's desire and your need to find her in. Will you help her find her in? Just help her find the avenue, the door, the person that leads to the person, right? The person who knows the
Yeah,
person. The Yeah, I don't know. But however you want to do that, universe, however you want to like
thank
orchestrate
you.
it. Michael,
Just be able to use my gifts and my tools for the greater good of humanity.
exactly. Michael's response. Do you think we haven't been doing that?
I'm trying.
Do you think we aren't working on that? Like, I get it. He's not snarky. He's just
Try.
dry. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. He's dry. And then he goes, he's a little annoyed, but not really annoyed because he knows it's a human thing. He's not really
Yeah.
annoyed, but it sounds annoyed, right? He's not annoyed. He's like, she never hears me. He's like, I'm talking to her. She never hears me. But he knows that's not true. He knows that you're hearing him. You're hearing him. He's just, there are times he wants to give you encouragement, and in the midst of the sobbing, you don't hear the encouragement.
Yeah.
That's just not where you are at that moment, right? That's just not where you are.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's coming. I can't tell you how soon it is. It doesn't feel tomorrow-ish, right? So I can't say days to weeks, and I can't say weeks to,
Exactly.
right? And I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a journey to find it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like I said, you're on the path and the door will open. So you just keep on the path. And, Google searching can't hurt.
Yeah.
And somebody, I'm going to say this, somebody has to know somebody somewhere, right? And so, I am going to say that. So I have this thing that's really private in my life, right? It's a really private thing. But it happened when I wasn't expecting it, and somebody knew somebody, right? Somebody knew somebody, and that somebody showed up at a moment when I needed some help. And I was just not even thinking, my brain was not even thinking anything. So, right, I wasn't, and then all of a sudden there was somebody standing there, and I was like, "Oh, you're somebody." I didn't realize you were somebody. I thought you were just
Yeah.
a person who was here to help me do this thing. Right? And I didn't realize that you were
The person.
the person. I didn't realize you were the person. I didn't realize you were a person, right? I thought you were a person. I thought you were a person just here to help. But no, you're actually big capital letter A person. And so I feel like that might be the moment for you where you're like walking along and you're like, I'm going to this thing. And then you might be like, oh, this thing is the thing. I didn't realize I thought this was a thing. I didn't think this was the thing. Or you might be at a thing that you think is a thing, right? It is a thing. Then a person at the thing shows up and you're like, oh, you're the person that helps me open that door.
That needs it.
And so I guess my encouragement here is to say yes to opportunities. Right? Become a yes woman.
Yeah. And that's what I've been doing
Right.
recently.
So whenever any opportunity shows up, even if it feels like this isn't going to get me any closer,
Yeah.
just say yes. But the other thing they're telling me to be really careful about is your energy levels. Don't them get too depleted because
Okay.
you are in this crucible right now.
Yeah.
Right? I can't take the crucible away because it's doing really good things for you, and I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're in it.
Okay. I know it's for a bigger purpose.
It has a
There
much,
is.
much bigger purpose.
Yeah.
And like you've already said it, who you are going into it to who you come out are not going to be the same people. Right? Your soul is transforming. And I also have to say you are ascending. You are ascending
Yeah.
faster than the rest of the
Yep.
planet is ascending.
Exactly. And I said that to my mom where I'm like, it's like every day it's like new timeline, new timeline, new timeline because of the amount of healing that I've been doing over the last years where it's like I'll be on this one path and it's like, oh, because I just did this class or this healing, it's like, nope, we're going this way. And then it's like I do something else and it's like, nope. It's like this constant redirection.
Yeah. This will settle down.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like this forever. My
Yeah.
sense is the timeline, like the healing, because you're doing the next healing, right? You got another healing session. You're going down to
Yeah.
Florida,
More classes. Yep.
and then you have the next healing session.
Yeah.
As a teacher, will things transform? Yes.
Yeah.
Like when you do the healing for the teachers, but I have to say
Yeah.
the teacher one isn't going to be as this has
Yeah.
been
I
because you're
agree.
already going to have done all of this.
Yeah.
So that will be like a deepening and a refining. It's not going it's like this is a really bad analogy because it's not exactly like what this is at all. But like like when you see artists do a painting, they do the sketches and then the
Yeah.
sketches get a little bit of color and then they finally go to the big piece of art.
Yeah.
It's so I guess this is more like finding David inside the marble than it is a painting because a painting is just smearing things over and that's not the case. What they're doing is they're chipping things away to find your David.
Yeah.
And so they're cutting things off of you.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Right? They're cutting things
Yeah.
off. And I don't know, I just read the book 10x is easier than 2x and they talks a lot about how Da Vinci says you're looking for the David. He can see David inside the marble. And so they're pulling David out of the marble is what's happening. It's not like the marble becomes David, right? They have to you have to get the stuff off, chip away to get to David. And so you in this instance, when you're in these classes, I feel like the big giant chipping away to get to David is happening. And then when they finally get to the teacher classes, it's like, oh, here's a little bit of a rough patch. Let's just smooth this out.
Exactly, which makes perfect sense.
So I feel like the rough part is this year.
Yeah.
And then everything else is like, oh, I've already seen this lesson. I recognize this lesson. I know what this lesson is. Thank you for refining me. And so, yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Yeah, I think so too.
I am sorry that your Saturn return is also in an
Thank
ascension.
you.
But I also want to say I am so, and not that I have the ability to say I'm proud of you, but I'm so proud of you for not giving up. Right?
Thank
Like you're
you.
doing such a good job. And way to handle it and way to like hold
Yep.
on and realize that because you're doing this work now and I did the work years ago, right? I've been on the floor, I've been the
Yep.
crying, I've been like alone, I've been completely isolated for a long time now, right? Like you do the work And then you're ready for when other people come to you and say, what the hell is this ascension thing? And why does it hurt so much?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, let me help you ride
Get it.
this wave.
Yeah.
And so you're experiencing it in a crucible.
Yep.
But you also have chosen to turn on the heat. Because if you were doing this theta healing, it wouldn't be as intense
No.
and it wouldn't be as like stirring for you.
Yeah.
But you are not somebody who goes gently.
Oh no. No.
You're like,
Like all
wait,
or nothing.
yeah, exactly. You're like, there's something to learn. Give me all of it
Like
now.
exactly. It's true.
I want to chew with a whole bone and put the whole bone in my body at once. No, none of this like gentle
Little
fine
no.
meals.
No.
No.
No. It's like I don't snack or graze. It's like just give me the full meal.
Right. With the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then you wake up to the table and you're like, oh, I'm stuffed. But then
I
another
can't
part,
move. Yep.
I can't move. And then there's another part of you that's like, it's like there's a small soft spot in your brain that's like, do we have to do it this way?
I
Right? Does it
know.
have to be done this way? And then you're like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to be, you're like, I want it all. Like, I want this human existence as
Yeah.
much as I can have it.
I do.
And so you're just like, I'm sorry, it's a little painful right now. But when joy comes, it's not going to come little, right? It's going to be big joy and you'll still be crying, I'm sorry to say. But it'll be like
Yeah.
it'll be tears of like I'm overwhelmed and so happy. When the joy comes. And Michael's like, she doesn't think it's coming. He's like, it is. I tell her it is. I tell her it's coming. She doesn't listen to me. So, but I also feel his love and I feel his acceptance and I feel his joy and I feel his delight in you and I feel so much that you are doing the right things, that you are on the right path and that you haven't missed it. And even if you choose not to do the thing that opens up, it doesn't mean that it's gone. It just means there's something else down the road. Right?
Yeah.
And like they always make the cliche about when, you close a door, there's always a window, right? The window might take a little while to open, right? Somebody might have painted it shut. But it'll come, right? I have a teacher who told me that Serapis Bey showed up for her. I don't know if you know who Serapis Bey is, but
Yeah.
he's an ascended master.
Yeah.
He showed up for her and she was like, he said, do this thing, and she didn't do it. And he's like, okay, you're not ready. You won't see me for a while.
Wow.
And they disappeared for 6 months.
Wow.
And then he showed back up and was like, okay, you're going to do the thing now?
We're gonna do it.
Like, she kept asking in those 6 months, like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? And she was like yelling into the darkness. And he's like, I'm not showing up until you're ready.
Wow.
And so then he showed up again 6 months later and he's like, are you ready now? Are you going to do the thing? And she's like, well, I don't want you to go silent on me for 6 months. So yeah, I guess I'll do the thing.
Just gonna do it.
I'm just going to go do it. So it will come back around. It might take a couple minutes,
Yeah.
but it will. And in the meantime, Google things.
Yep.
Like, Google that part of the army that does that thing and find out who's in charge, right?
Yep.
Make a couple phone calls. Like, what's that going to hurt?
It's not.
No.
Get
It's a human way of doing it, but it's like, so I recently had, so I have a vision for, this is so long. Am I running over in your life? Are you okay with it being ridiculously long?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so I recently have come into, I'm also working with a soul healer.
Uh-huh.
That's the Isabel Zimmerman. She's a hypnotherapist. And so she's bringing me through, she brought me through 4 sessions of hypnotherapy where we clean out the gunk, right? We clean out the garbage. Yeah. And now we're in the first of like 15 sessions. We just finished the first one yesterday of cleaning out like painful things. So this week was rejection. We just cleaned out rejection. Wow. And so, yeah, the funny thing is I got to see a life where like I was in the future. It was a future life. I think it was actually
Very cool.
on Earth, but it was a
Yeah.
future life. It was very
Okay.
weird. Things looked really weird. It was just,
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Oh.
express how weird it was.
Yeah.
Um, why was I telling you this? My brain has hit menopause, just so you know.
Okay.
And so, um, soul healing. We were talking about Serapis Bay. Oh, because I'm doing this soul healing, I now know what I want. I have become laser focused in what I want for my future, for my life, for what I'm doing. I now know exactly what I want. I want stages, and the stages I want it to be sort of like Esther Hicks, but instead of like people in the front get called on. Do you know who Esther Hicks is? Yeah. Okay, so she like just for people who are listening who don't know who Esther Hicks is, she's a channeler who like takes people's questions and then gives them like big spiritual life perspective on the question.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to do that. Like I kind of want to do what I'm doing here, but also
Yeah.
like, pull some
On a
channeling in
bigger.
and like a bigger
Yeah.
scale where everybody in the room.
Exactly.
So she pulls people in the front. And they've shown me that what I'm supposed to do is a combination. So I went to a theater thing once when I was younger.
Oh.
It was a local theater thing, and he had a card we had to fill out before we got on stage with
Yeah.
all of these questions and things about us on it. And then we put them in a fishbowl, and they were on the fishbowl at the top of the stage. And then he would
Oh,
pull them
that's so
out
cool.
occasionally and like have somebody in the audience participate.
Yep.
So when I saw him do that, I was like, something about that really triggered inside of me. And I was like, hold on to this memory. And so as I've gotten my, this is what you're going to do with your life, right? As I've gotten the, this is what you're going to do with your life, I was like, oh, I'm going to have a piece of paper that basically has their name, their like age bracket, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, and then 30 to
Yeah.
31, because the age things that happen there, right? Once you hit
It's a bigger.
60, right? Like,
It's
but like, you know,
different.
it's
Yeah.
different, right? So, and then I can be like, okay, just so I get a sense of their age. And then, obviously their email and their contact. And then, yeah, if you fill out this form,
Yeah.
you're giving me permission to put me on your list, like blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
All that stuff. But then the main section of the form is just, what's your big burning life question?
Yeah.
And
I
then there's
love
be a
that.
fishbowl at the front of the room, and I'll just like pull people out of the
Pull it
fishbowl.
out.
And then it
Love
doesn't
that.
matter who came in first or who came in last, right?
No.
Fate just decides who gets the pull. And then if I get really fancy, then that person will get a spotlight if they want one.
Oh,
They don't have to have one
amazing.
and a microphone if they want one, but they don't have to have one if they're really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then
I love that.
and then they can say yes or no to the person. Like you always have the right to say yes or no to the person. And then I'll just go off on what I can. If you're not willing to interact with me, then that's, you know, that's fine for
Yeah.
you. And then you don't have to come up on stage. You can do it right from your seat, right? Like, and then there's less pressure and it's
Exactly. They're
less
comfortable.
more comfortable, and
Yeah.
you know, and it's pay to play. So like if you don't pay to play, if you don't want to like be called out and you don't have a big burning life question, you don't have to put anything in the bucket.
You
Like
don't have to do it.
you don't have to do it. You don't have to participate if you don't want. You could just come and watch other people participate and get the answers. And just by being in the room and being in the atmosphere, like with Esther, by being there, your life becomes a little transformed just because you were present.
Exactly.
So this is the vision I have. And I got a location to call.
Oh,
And so
amazing.
I called the location and said, hey, I want to come and do this thing. And they were like, we'll put you on the list for when people have parties. And I was like, that's not what I wanted.
Yep.
and so now I'm like, did I miss it? Did I get it wrong? And I was like, no, it's either a not right now, or it's they'll come and find you because now you're
Yeah.
on the list. And then when you become famous, they're like, wait, we have her. We know how to get a hold of her.
Yeah.
Or it becomes a like, that's the
Keep trying.
concept, but
Yeah.
not necessarily that's the location.
That place. Exactly.
Yeah, but I reached out to some place and I'm like, come let me do this. And they were like,
Yeah.
nah, thanks. And so did I miss it? No.
No.
I've refined. I am now really focused. This is what I want to do. I've become really myopic.
Yeah.
And everything else not so important. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with you with the theta healing. You're going to become really myopic. You're going to become really focused. You're going to really know what it is that you are doing and why you're doing it. And then that'll stop. And the reason the other 3 businesses didn't work, I'm sorry to say, hon, is because they weren't supposed to be yours.
They weren't.
Right, Kit? And those weren't yours. As much as your heart was in them and as much as you thought they were really good, that wasn't David.
No.
Right? And you want to be the masterpiece.
Yeah.
You want to do the exact thing that you're supposed to be doing. And if they had taken off, here's the thing, this is the thing they're showing me, that if they had taken off, you would have been spinning your wheels doing things that weren't actually your purpose and your goal and your love and your passion. And then you would feel stuck. And then you would feel like, how do I get out of this? Because there would be people that you are serving and you're like, I can't let these people down.
Exactly.
And then you would have been trapped.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have led me to theta healing either.
Right.
So
Exactly. Again, it's all for you.
Yeah.
It's all getting you to where you're supposed to be, to create the sole purpose of why you came here.
Yeah.
And you put yourself on a rocket in healing. Like, you just put yourself on a healing rocket. And I have to tell you, that piece of marble, if it had feelings, it would be really unhappy. It doesn't want to be David, right?
Yep.
That piece of marble is really happy just to be a piece of marble. Why are you chipping away at me? And why are you making me uncomfortable? And why are you taking off big hunks of me? I wanted that chunk. Like, what if I wanted that chunk? The marble has to want to be David more than being a block of marble. In order for us to transform, we have to want to be a transformed person more than being what we were before.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah. And so you're doing the work, as uncomfortable and as miserable and as hard as it is. And I have to tell you, I have too spent a year or 2 of my life crying.
Yeah.
Right? And it's through that I transform. And it's through that you transform, because you're getting I can't do yoga. Do you know that I can't do yoga? I mean, I can do yoga. I do yoga.
Yeah.
I do yoga. But I can do Pilates. I can't do Pilates. I don't know if you've seen videos, but there's some videos out there about me not being able to do Pilates, and Pilates took me recently and it was very bad. But I don't bawl my eyes out in Pilates.
Yeah.
I bawl my eyes out in yoga.
In yoga. Yep.
Yoga makes me a puddle on a mat.
Yep.
And part of that is because we take all of our emotions and we shove them. And we just shove them and we shove them and we shove them and we shove them until they become like in our hips.
So, yep.
And then our hips hold it all. And then when we start to like move around and change what's going on in our hips, the tears start because it comes out. So you're just in that it's coming out moment.
Oh yeah. It is. You got that right.
Yeah. And so I'm sorry that it's coming out, but I'm so excited that it's coming out.
Yeah. So I'm excited for where it's leading.
Yes.
To. That's what excites me.
Yeah, I'm excited for where it's leading to. You have to stay in touch and tell me how it all goes.
I definitely will. I definitely will.
And if you want to share with your friends that I'm doing reading events in Zoomy, you feel free to share with your friends.
Absolutely.
I'm doing reading events in Zoom. There's
love that.
In a week, not this weekend, but next weekend, and I'm trying to do them like every other weekend. And so anybody who wants to come in the room can come in the room. So it's sort of like the theater idea, only it's in a Zoom room. And then people, the difference between in a theater and in a Zoom room is a theater, you're all just in there. But you can be in person, right? In the Zoom room, the first 10 people who pay for VIP are guaranteed a 5 to 10 minute reading.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So it's only for the first 10, and then there's a cutoff because I want fate to have an opportunity to play for people who are just there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
So that's on my
I'll
website
definitely share.
at kimbeam.com. Yeah. So definitely, if you know anybody who's like, if they're like, I don't want to do it on a podcast because I don't want it to be seen by everybody, and that's really uncomfortable. The Zoom room, I don't know. I think does get recorded, but it's 5 to 10 minutes. And it's, it's way less pressure than I think a podcast would be.
I think so. Yeah, I love that.
That's
really sweet.
So, so that's what's going on. And then you again, Michael's just saying you're doing a fantastic job. You're doing a
Thank
fantastic
you.
job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Be encouraged, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you decided to be born in such a way that your Saturn return hits on the ascension year.
It's a big, yeah, such a big year.
Such a big year. And March, I also feel like March has started slow. I feel like March
Yeah.
has started slow, but I think the energies are picking up. I hear that the end of
Yep.
March is going to be at the end of the month. It's going to, I hear March 29th is the day to watch. I hear March 29th
Okay.
of all of the days of the year that we are like facing,
Oh
March
boy.
29th, I hear is the day to be paying
Okay.
attention to.
Paying attention. And it's middle of Mercury retrograde too.
Yeah, it's Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
Venus is retrograde.
Yep. Today's the eclipse. Full
Today's the
moon
eclipse.
tomorrow.
Yep. It's also an eclipse. It's the following
Yep.
eclipse to this eclipse is March
Exactly.
29th. So there's an eclipse, there's two retrogrades. I think some big planets changing into Aries, Neptune,
Yep.
Uranus, somebody's
Like
changing.
one of them.
Yep, changing into Aries. Which hasn't happened since 18 something. So like
Like great.
so this year all of the major planets are shifting into new signs,
Okay.
which is why this is like such a big year, right?
Oh, wow.
All of them are going into a new sign. Some
Yeah.
of them haven't done that in 200 and something years.
Yep.
Going into a new sign. And then on top of that, we've got some the retrogrades of the Venus and the Mercury at the same time.
Exactly.
Pretty much in the same degrees as well. So yeah, so March 29th, if of all the days in the month people are talking about is March 29th. And then, and again, this is all stuff I've been hearing from other people. This is not stuff I found because I am not an astrologer. This is not my gift. But I hear that March 29th is the day. And then I hear the end of the month will be like a galloping horse.
Okay.
Right? Like the beginning of the month was sort of like a trot. Right?
Yep.
The end of the month is a galloping horse.
Just a little bit. Okay.
And I also am hearing from people that like, so the like, I want to say I see what's been happening, like the pressure, the pressure that's coming, right? I always think of it as like a zit, right? Because it's and it's painful and it just needs to like explode. I feel like March 29th, if it doesn't if it releases on March 29th, we may not see the power of that for a little while, or we may not know everything, right? We may not know what we're looking at. March 29th might be like when you go to pop a balloon, you're expecting a big pop, and instead you just put a hole in it and it kind of goes.
It's a slow leak, yeah.
Right? Like it might look really disappointing on March 29th and people are like, what is everybody all? But
it's the ripple effect.
It's the ripple effect of what happened on. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people are saying what's going to happen is going to happen very quietly and we're not going to see it. There are some people who are like, it's all going to be hush hush and it's going to happen very subtly. And people are just going to be like, this thing happened and it's not going to be chaotic. And other people are like, no, it's going to be giant chaos.
It's going to be.
So I'm just like, I'm here with the popcorn because I have no power over anything. I'm like, all right, let's see what happens.
Exactly.
Except I don't eat popcorn, so it'll probably be more like nuts. I'll have some peanuts.
That works too.
Well, Taylor, I have taken up way too much of your time.
No, it's okay. Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Oh, no, I appreciate you a ton too. And again, let me know how it goes, where you wind up, what happens, and how I can support whatever it is that you're doing, how we can get that out for people to know what's happening for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I would love to share theta healing with you as well.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. We'll talk.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time and then letting me read you and then, take an hour out of your life. It was only supposed to be 15 minutes, but apparently there was much to say because of the cauldron that you're in.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it so much.
Not a problem. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
You too.
Okay.